Hello, welcome everybody to the first video of the Dreadnought collection. Today we've got the legs. So first you want to get your water pot, your brushes. I actually haven't got all my brushes, sorry about that. You're going to want your brushes, your palette, the legs, and something to wipe your brushes off on. I would recommend having 2 brushes for this video, a used brush and just a nice synthetic brush. I really need to buy a detail brush. Like I said, I'm new to the hobby, so this won't be that good. It won't be the best you've ever seen, or it might be the first you've ever seen, I'm not sure. But yeah, like I said, last video, recommend doing it, and it's just fun. So what you'd want, I haven't actually thought of the paints yet, but the paints I'm thinking of, just any metallics that you'd need this for. A red, because we're doing blood angels for my dreadnought. The metals would be using lead belcher, an iron breaker, and a dry brush of, sorry everyone, where I'm not too sure where I put this. Necron compound. Huge fan of Necrons myself, it is my favourite army, so too bad. You will, for the base coat, you will need Mephiston red. For the purity seal, you will want Bugman's Glow and Evelyn Sunset. You'll also want Retributor armor. And finally, the last thing that we'll be doing will be some Agrax Earthshade. So just move all your paints over to the side, we don't need them now. So firstly, we'll do the metals first, the metallics, so all the inner workings, not like the armor plates on the front, or just anything else. So, because you don't want to ruin your synthetic brush, you can if you want to, but I'd recommend using just an older brush, which I use for loads of things. Just, it's good. Use an older brush for most things, apart from like base coating and details. You will want to start off with some lead belcher. Give it a shake. Since if you're watching this, you're either watching it on how to paint the Blood Angels Dreadnought, or you're new to the hobby. So if you're new, these are Citadel paint pots made by Games Workshop. You can get Vallejo and stuff, like I will get some Vallejo and like Army Painter and that, but right now I've only got Citadel, and you want to really shake these paints up. So just go up and down, swirl around, play a little game of catch with it. Then once that's open, just open it, make sure it's all nice inside, and wet your brush a little bit. So it's all soft. And put a little bit on your palette. You don't need loads, these are only small models. Don't put your paint back though, because you might need a little bit of top off. So after you've put it onto your palette, just wash off your brush, like so. And then use your creases of your hand here. Just close it like that to straighten your brush out a bit. So now, you just get a little bit on the tip of your brush and just paint it. Make sure, try not to make any mistakes. We'll be going in nice thinner coats and working up. But, yeah. So you'll want to just paint your miniature. So, if you've got any ideas for anything you want me to do, I'd rather if it's Necrons. I think for Necrons, I will be happy to purchase the model and do a tutorial on that. In building, I actually forgot to... I don't really think of doing a building tutorial for this one, but I promise next model that I do that's actually interesting, I will do a building tutorial. So, I'm a big fan of Necrons. The next video I'm going to release after the Dreadnought collection will actually be how to paint a Necron warrior. I've got 3 of them, 2 with Gauss Reapers, 1 with a Gauss Flayer, and yeah. So if there's anything you guys want to do, just comment in the video, and I'll be happy to buy the model, as long as it's Necrons or Space Marines. So I don't really have a 3rd army, but I will inform you guys when I purchase a 3rd army. And I will do an unboxing for when I buy Combat Patrol for Necrons. So, as you don't want to do too thick with Lead Belcher, since we're going to be going over it in Ironbreaker anyways. But you want to less Ironbreaker than Lead Belcher, but you don't need thick coats of Lead Belcher, so always prime your eye. You don't have to, but I prefer to prime my models in black because it just gives it nicer and gives it kind of like starter shadings, which is nice. So I've finished this. Let me just wash off my brush first. So at this point, you guys will either be finishing your painting or Lead Belcher, or you've already finished faster than me. So after you dry off your brush, don't forget to go like that. Doesn't matter if you get paint on your hands, it is hard to wash off, but that's all okay. So yeah, there is the undercoat for the Venerable Dreadnought inner workings complete. So now just have to wait around and talk so while it dries, so I'll give you some information. So if you haven't watched last video, which you should have, there's an introduction, we're going to be painting this, 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 and these all in separate tutorials. So this is going to be a proper series. You can find them in the Dreadnought playlist. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Why am I saying that? It's not even the end of the video. So when it's Citadel paints do dry faster than some other paints I find out. So just rub your finger across it a little bit, see if it's dry, and no, paint my finger, so ready for the Ironbreaker. So make sure you've closed your Lead Belcher pot. You don't want it open because it's obvious. So now you've got your iron breaker out. You're going to make sure to shake it. Do the same thing. So you shake it, twirl it. Play a little game of ball with it. Give it a little roll. Shake it. And it's ready. So if you're new and you've just brought Citadel paint pots, you might find they're a little bit hard to open. And that's because they've got tiny grooves in there. Like tiny little columns of plastic that you have to pull, so they're very hard to open. But I don't know if you should do this, but I do this. You just get your hobby knife, take off the cover, always make sure you have a cover, and just run it across there. And it'll take off, it'll cut them in half so you can open it easier without the paint going everywhere, because I've had that happen before. So this is actually a recently newer paint, like not released newer, it's newer, so it's got more in it I've brought. So you want to take a little bit off, just a little bit less than you did for lead belcher. And if you don't have iron breaker, rune fang steel is a good substitute. So just put a little bit on your palette, wash off your brush, just do that. Now get a little bit on the end of your brush. That's all you should need. And just less getting into all the details and just go over it. This isn't a dry brushing, but you don't want to get into the recesses where your lead belcher is. This will just give it a nice shading. So you don't want to hit everywhere with this, because this is like the effect of just metal. And it'll give it a nice effect, so just keep running your brush over it. And it is finished. So now wash off your brush, like so. When I was doing that, I was just doing this, but I feel like it worked better if you clench your fist, pull it out. So now while we're waiting for that to dry, we need to work out what paint to use. So, I forgot a paint. Flash gets yellow. You will want for the little bullets on the floor, like underneath him. We'll go over that with our synthetic brush. A little bit of Flash gets yellow to get those bullets done. And then I won't be painting the base today, but that's because you guys will decide it, so on to you. I'm deciding for you guys to do. So just pat your little pinky, pat your pinky over it. See if you get anything up. And it's dried, because these paints do dry really fast, as I've said. So now this is a time that you really do want to use your old brush for dry paint. Some Necron compound. So you can see me shaking it, but there's actually no point. So this is dry paint, so it's for dry brushing. You see it looks like gelatinous substance. So you just want to get a little bit of that stuff in your brush. Just twirl it around in the pot for a little bit. And wipe it off till very little is on your brush. Actually, I wiped off a bit too much. Till little is coming off your brush. And then you literally just want to go like that over it. And now that is done, close the Necron compound. So if you don't have Necron compound, you don't have to do it. It won't change that much, it just adds a little bit of variation in the metals. So now just dry off your brush, get it all cleaned. Now have a look at your legs, they should be looking something like this. So now we've finished our metal. Now you don't need Mephiston reds. If you're painting ultramarines, you'd be using like ultramarine blue, this blue, I'm not sure what to say, and the crag blue. Okay, I don't know why I did that. So now you've got this done. If you want to use your old brush for the base coat, I would recommend that, because you don't want to mess up your synthetic brush, so I mainly use that for details. So you want to crack out your Mephiston red. Now this is when you want to do it in layers. Want to shake it? And now it's all shaked. So you just open it. Okay, so now this is open. Put a bit on your palette, but because this is a base paint, we want to do this in layers. If you do it thicker, it gives it, you see like strokes and stuff. So just wash off your brush a little bit. And get a little bit of water. Just mix that in with your paint. Then wash off your brush again. Now you want to do the feet and the panels with this. If you're watered down base paint, so you don't have to do blood angels, I'm doing blood angels, but just follow this tutorial anyways, no matter what you're using. And yeah, just change your colours. So try not to get any on your metal, because that'll be incredibly annoying. Then you'll have to go back and fix it up later. Just, if you get a bit of metal, just go over it with some iron breaker. So when we do the purity seals later, you will find that the Everland Sunset looks a bit bright for them, but when we shade it with Agrax, you will see how it changes. So if you've watered it down too much, like I've done here by accident, it's okay if you do, it's just a mistake. Let's just wipe it off with a little bit of cloth. And I might do transfers for this. I haven't really mastered transfers, I've only done it on my Primaris Outriders. So if you've done what I did here, just get some more of your Mephiston red. Oops. And just put it on there to thicken up the paint a bit. It should be a thick enough consistency. that it's not too thick, it's just right. But yeah. So this will be like 20 minutes, half an hour long video, but that's okay. As long as you guys are happy, I'm happy, I think. So you want to concentrate a lot when you're doing this to try not get on your metal. And if you try do your metal last after you've done all your base coat and stuff, you'll see why. So it'll look a bit glossy and varnishy when you put that on, but if it's still like that when it's dried, you might have done something wrong. I'm not sure what you could have done wrong. Saying, oh, what was this? So either, I forgot which one it is, but either hard coat or lime and medium, which are on parts that look like these, which you use for your transfers. You can just go over that and make it less shiny. But you don't need to do that until it's shaded, because it might be nothing. So, like I said, I'm not a professional painter, so please don't moan at me if I mess something up. But I did say that I'm new to the hobby. So by the time you've finished the second leg of thing, the other one would have dried, like mine has. So now you just go over it in another layer of Mephiston red. And don't use Blood Angels red, because I don't actually have the paint, but I've seen one Blood Angels painted with it and they look a lot darker. So I'd use Mephiston, just brighter, looks a bit nicer. Like, it's not too bright. Just want to make sure you get all of it done. Check that this is dried. By then it should have. So if you like the first layer, you might have done it a bit too thick, or you did do it perfect, so you just like the look of it. Do leave it like that if you do like the look of it. But I wouldn't recommend. So now your shoulder pads should be done. Not shoulder, leg pads, I'd say, because I'm not sure. Now you're being like, you might, I actually kind of forgot the feet, so just go over that with your mix of water. Only a little bit of water though, not too much. Your Mephiston red. And do one layer. So to the consistency I've got it to, about 2 layers is perfect. You don't want it too watery or too thick. So when you're painting the feet, it doesn't matter if you get a bit on the base. So also, if you're still painting your inner workings, make sure to do all of it and don't miss out on little bits. So yeah, you'll be seeing more Necron painting tutorials than Dreadnought and Space Marines. But yeah, so just go easy on the feet because you don't want to get too much on your base. So I've already got quite a bit on the base, like around the feet. But that's okay because when you end up doing your base, you'll go over it. Okay, so now the feet. The first layer for the feet are done. Check it's dry. Then paint it. So the paint will dim down once it's dried, but if you want it brighter, just keep doing layers. But since it's 40k and like grimdark, it's good to only do like 2 or 3 layers. Don't get too bright. But all my armies like Chaos, like Zinch and stuff, they're different. But that's like, look at your army's colours and have a look at it. Just like see any models you like. Yeah. So now this is done. You'll see the black details, which will be gone over. So wash off your brush. Okay, so actually, because you guys are going to be doing your base yourself, you don't actually need flash if it's yellow, so mine. Now time for your special brush, your synthetic brush. You'll see that a lot smoother, more pointy. You're going to be very careful with this brush. It's a very delicate brush. But they are cheap, so what do you think we should do first? Purity seal? Purity seal? Or other details? Let's do the purity seal first. So with Bugman's Glow, you want to mix it up. I actually use Bugman's Glow more for my bases. My bases are more of a desert themed. Just want to give it a good shake. So now, get a tiny bit on the end of the brush. You don't want to get any paint past the middle on these brushes, so make the brush splinter like your old brush. So then, you look at your purity seal. You see the bit where it's stuck on, like the stamp. Put a little bit of Bugman's Glow on that. And then it will dim down once we've shaded it. But yeah, so that's all you need Bugman's Glow for. Very small detail, very fine. But it will look nice once it's shaded. So I don't know if you can see. Put on the purity seal. That's Bugman's Glow. Okay, so just wash off your brush, be very delicate. don't want to break this brush because even though they are cheap, you just don't want to. So now, this is the bit for Everland Sunset. The 13th minute has only just struck, so it's taking a bit longer than I expected. Just a little bit on the tip of your brush. Now you need to just go over it very carefully. And it will look a bit light. But that will dim once we shade. That's why we're using Agrax Earthshade. Personally, it's my only shade, but it's also my favourite. So my channel is gonna go, instead of just doing random videos, it's now gonna be going more in a Warhammer direction, since it's the thing that I like a lot. So yeah, just make sure to be careful with your brushes. And if you have any ideas, comment on this video. If it's Necrons, there's a high chance of me getting that. And I will do a building and painting of it. And if you're new to Warhammer, it's expensive, but buy it. And for ideas, if you think there's a model that looks cool and it's not too expensive, if it's a cheaper one, it'll be done faster. The video would be out faster. Yeah, just say under any of my Warhammer themed videos and I'll have a look getting that. So now that's done, this is when the Retributor armor comes in. So Retributor armor, it's a very nice gold. I'm probably going to buy one of the other like darker golds, but this is the only gold I have and it is a nice looking gold. So I'm going to mix this up. Then you open it. This is very fine. Just get a tiny bit on the tip of your brush. Tiny bit, because this is a metallic paint, so you really don't want to ruin this brush. But you won't be able to do it with your bigger brush, with your your other brush, because you don't want to ruin that. And please subscribe, because once I get 50 subscribers, I will do my first live stream, which will be fully building and painting a model. And if you could say in the description on this, in the comments, how many subscribers you need before you start making money on YouTube, because I'm not sure, or just what you need to do, because I would like to make money on YouTube, since I need a way to get money, otherwise I won't be able to upload videos and do Warhammer. Well, I would be able to upload videos, very boring ones. So please subscribe, and if I get 1,000 subscribers before 2024, I will make a Patreon. I don't actually really know what that is, but I've seen other YouTubers do it, so they seem to get good money off of it, so I will. So yeah. Could you guys wait a second? There's an intruder. It appears we've got a wild sea small trying to destroy me. See small, go away. Sorry everyone, it's just the annoying person. And don't check out his channel either. You come back, I'll unsubscribe. Yeah, I will, definitely. So now, just wait a bit, give it a little tap, see if it's all dry. And there you go, your legs are fully painted, but not shaded. So you want to wash off this brush very thoroughly. Since you will not be needing this brush for the rest of the video. Make sure it's got a nice point, put it back into the case. Okay, see small, I've had enough. Go away. Okay, sorry everyone. I'm gonna unsubscribe. See small's here.
Hello. Bye. Bye, people. Have a nice day.
Very sorry, he's the most annoying person in the world. I will have a talk to him after for interrupting my video. So now you get Agrat Earthshade. This one you really don't want to spill. Go onto the end of your brush. And then do heavier shading with the metallics than on every other part. See small, get lost. Okay, I'm sorry. Just ignore him.
Where's the computer anyway?
Go away, see small.
Well, where's the computer? No, that's okay. Yeah. Bye, people. I'm never gonna come back.
You better not come back or I'll kill you. Okay, so now, hopefully you've shaded all your metallics. I'm just finishing doing that. You want to do heavier shading on your metallics, it really brings out all the details. And there's one I actually haven't seen before, it looks like wires or something sticking out. Now, you don't want to go as heavy on the armour. You want to make sure your whole model is shaded. Because this will definitely look a lot better once it's dried. And you have a very nice looking, well, dreadnought. Because this shading really brings out the details. And why I like Agrax Earthshade so much is because it's just like a nice looking shade. Everyone uses like neon oil and stuff, but I like Agrax Earthshade. Very much a nicer one. And shout out to Will. He is very nice. And yeah. So now it's fully shaded. I'm gonna close this. Wash off your brush. Put your paints back. And you will have your completed dreadnought legs. Very beautiful indeed. Look better when the shade's dried, but oh well. Thank you guys for supporting the channel. If you have supported it, which you should, definitely go subscribe and like, please. You don't have to, but I'd recommend. And peace out.